Hi, my name's David. I'm going to be showing you some things that you will need for being a Dungeon Master for a game of Dungeons & Dragons. Now, I play Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 normally, but I also play 4th edition, so I'll be using those books just because I have more of them, so I can use this better example. Okay, one thing you're going to need is pencils. I suggest about 2 pencils for each player, and then about 2 pencils for you. So if there's 5 people total, like 10 pencils, 2 for each in case one breaks. Another one you're going to need is Dungeons & Dragons miniatures. I have some goblins here. Got my young green dragon. And then, of course, the player's miniatures. This one's a dwarf fighter. One more thing you're going to need is dice. I suggest about 2 of each die. That's a D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, and a D20. I don't have much dice, that's all I have actually, just 2 of each. But every time someone else comes, they normally bring their own dice. So that is why I don't have much. Another thing you're going to need is a story. They have campaigns that are pre-made that you could use, that you could buy at game stores, or I actually typed mine up myself. This one is The Gates. This is actually the 3rd week of it, and so far they're doing pretty good. But another thing you're going to need for playing is 1-inch graph paper. This is just the right size for a Dungeons & Dragons miniature, and it is also very easy to get a hand of. You can just pick it up at a local gaming store, or you can basically just buy it offline. You can buy everything online now. Another thing you're going to need is characters. Now, this one I made myself for my friend, but that was just because he was unable to get here. So he had told me what he wanted to be, and I helped him make a character over the phone. And the final thing you're going to absolutely need is the books. Now, there are 3 major books that you're going to need. They are the Player's Handbook, the Monster Manual, and the Dungeon Master's Guide. Okay, now the Dungeon Master's Guide is basically the one you'll need for running the game. It tells you what kind of creatures are good for what kind of levels. Like in there it says, I think goblins would be good for level 1s. Pretty basic. And it tells you how much experience everyone should get. And actually it gives suggestions about what you should bring to a Dungeons & Dragons game. The Monster Manual is very helpful because if you're running your dungeon, it shows you every stat for every creature so far. This one's got basically just a whole page worth of them. And then the final one that you will absolutely need is the Player's Handbook. This gives you all the basic rules for the game and includes rules for making your character. Now, I normally house rule my characters, but this does give an actual rule for your characters. Some other books that you might need to find helpful are the Player's Handbook 2, just comes in handy, gives more rules, and the Adventurer's Vault. The Adventurer's Vault is pretty handy. It gives a list of items that you could give to the players as treasure or something that they find in a cave, or anything that you could maybe give like to an NPC. It's got tons of weapons. It's got magic weapons. Basically got everything in there. That's all you will actually need. 2 other things I do suggest having would, one, be for the Dungeon Master, just a Dungeon Master's screen or Dungeon Master wall. On the front normally has a pretty picture. But on the Dungeon Master side, it has stats for all kinds of roles, like spot checks, listen, disable device, all sorts of them. Now this just comes handy because then they can't see what you're rolling. can roll all your dice in secret, and they won't know what you roll. So they can't really figure out any attack bonuses or anything like that that the creatures have. And the final thing that you will need is a snack. Just bring something. This is just some peanuts I picked up at a local restaurant. We just open the bag, sit them in the middle of the table, and just eat them while we're playing. Okay, and that's basically everything you'll need for a game of Dungeons & Dragons. There is more things that you could bring, but none of them are actually essential to the playing of the game. Thanks for watching.